Magnus left.
Yes, as you told us yesterday, he doesn't like to wait.
Yeah, now he's impatiently waiting. He's kind of thinking, what is this? Why are they trying to stop me? I want action, I want blood. And this will be very interesting to see how he will play against Nepomniactchi.
Magnus has such motivation, such will to win, which is so inspiring. Nevertheless, yesterday he had to undergo the doping test, so the anti-doping committee asked him to go through this procedure. I hope that he had some time to rest after a very long day. And the round is about to begin.
I apologize for repeating because of the equipment section where I need to start.
Magnus, as we see, he can hardly wait for the game to start. Yeah, there we go.
And Jan Nepomniacchi is a very dangerous opponent.
Yeah, let's see which time Magnus will play against the Grünfeld. Will he repeat what he has played yesterday against Artemiev? So far it looks like.
Do you think that Jan is grumpy?
I'm sure that he's ready for it. Yeah, we see the same line with H4. I don't know the board.
Maybe it means that you're never satisfied with yourself. Also in a way, it's like you have this killing look, but at the same time you're so grumpy. You're never happy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never know what Jan really thinks. I mean, he seems to show his emotions, but is it exactly real or he's... And again, Queen A5 is played and castles. Again, the same mistake. It means that Jan did not check this game by Magnus against Artemiev yesterday. And I talked to Artemiev at dinner and he also said, yeah, he forgot, he mixed it up. He of course had to take CD, Queen A5, check King F1. That's what happened between Magnus Carlsen and Maxim Vachier-Lagrave.
And Magnus looks surprised because Jan repeats the same variation, so he must think that what the hell is going on.
Yeah, the only point is that, okay, Jan spent something like 20 seconds and they know each other very, very well. They have been working together, I think, back in 2011-2012 period. And yeah, Jan is in trouble. Right away he's in trouble. I mean, you just can't mix it up in the Grünfeld. I mean, if you play some solid opening, then okay, one small inaccuracy, kind of, you are just maybe slightly worse, but you can continue to fight more or less in a stable ground. But here...
Remember, we were discussing these middle game structures, if black should go for CD, or play rook d8 and e6. So Jan went for the same, for the second position that we discussed, but you still think that this is highly inferior for black?
Yeah, because he's facing concrete problems. He cannot play knight e5 because of d6 winning a pawn and winning the game basically, and after e5, bishop d5 is such an unpleasant threat on the f7 pawn that you cannot really protect. Queen c7 maybe is a must, but then there is bishop f4, so the pawn on c5 is hanging, and he goes knight e5. But look at this bishop on d5, this is a monster. Nothing can really challenge it, and yeah, Jan is very, very unhappy with himself. How could he get so quickly into trouble? This is not what you want against Magnus.
Yes, but as you have said yourself, you need to check the games which were played yesterday. So you basically need to prepare for your Blitz tournament.
Yeah, you kind of need, but at the same time you are so exhausted after 12 games that you think that there are so many games. Let me rest, this is much more important than any specific preparation.
And yeah, this can cost you the title.
Yeah, and also one of the problems for Jan that his second Vladimir Potkin is playing himself in the tournament. Otherwise, if Vladimir would not be playing, he would be checking, and he would have most probably highlighted, you know, Magnus has used this and this against your openings, watch out, here you have to do this, this and this, and you get an information in 2 minutes, and you are perfectly set for the game.
Does the cat play in the tournament?
That's the question, yeah.
We saw Vladimir Potkin's cat, who has a lot of fans, so...
But now it seems that more or less the worst has passed for Jan, because he managed to get the c5, c4, kicking away the queen from b3, which was really putting a lot of pressure on f7 pawn. I'm not sure if rook a d1 was exactly the best, because it allowed this this option. And knight g4, Jan is going for counterplay. Watch out for queen h2 checkmate, so bishop f4 has to be played now. Bishop e5. And all of a sudden it's looking good for Jan. White has to probably bring the queen to c1 in order to control the f4 square. Yeah, queen c1 is played, bishop e6, and now we see Jan in his element. I mean, now he feels more or less confident that at least he is definitely in the game.
Magnus is probably asking himself why I didn't play c4 myself.
It's a very big question, yeah.
Okay, so what?
Yeah, I mean, black's pawn structure is damaged, but black has a lot of activity. Now imagine it's black to move, then he goes rook d8 to d3, and...
But if I play h takes g6,
okay,
take, bishop h5, queen a5, and queen f4.
Yeah, probably you have to do something like this, but then I just put the king on f7, and the knight can come back to e5 and d3. Black is doing perfectly fine, and he is now also ahead on the clock. Jan the magician.
King f7, I thought that you can play rook d4 and double on the d file. What do you think about
but rook d4 is nice strategically, but it's also very risky. I can take cd and knight c6, and I have a very strong passer on c4 connected with b5. We have seen in these games of Magnus what he is capable of doing with those pawns. We see this line.
Yeah, but I still go, yes, for this variation.
Yeah, there was nothing else, but
f3 first.
Yeah, f3 has to be played. It's safer. He needs to bring the king to f2 and to e3. Jan doesn't give this. He jumps in with knight e3, putting pressure on the knight. And look at this after rook e1. Will he go knight d1? Most probably he will. And suddenly, look at this. Magnus is down to 28 seconds. Yeah, he was rook b8. He had to do this. And he cannot go king f2 because of knight d1 check.
It's easy to miss knight d1 when you calculate this variation. I think he wanted to play rook e1 and...
He anyway goes for it. He gives the pawn because he wants to take the c4 pawn, and then he gets...
rook a4 or rook c7.
Rook c7 check, exactly. I mean, because after all, black's kingside pawn structure is damaged. If the white rook gets active, it can also get
Maybe
very
he can take it. Knight c3, rook c1, knight e2, rook c4, rook d7.
Yeah, he can.
He needs to enter this variation.
Definitely he can, but still at the end there is maybe some... Yeah, but rook c6 can be met by knight b4. So yeah, this variation is actually very important. But hang on, after knight takes e2, maybe rook e1 is coming. Of course no, it cannot be, because the pawn on c4 is very strong. Then knight b4 back. No, Jan goes for g5 and offer the draw or what? Because it felt like he said something. It felt like he said something, yeah.
He offered the draw.
Yeah, I felt it that he offered the draw.
Because there is so much respect.
No, I mean, okay, and also that he already thought that he